life is so much bigger than that. So my change started in there, and I had to separate myself, and I had to get like my own understanding with God and my own relationship with Him, not just off my mama prayers and her fast. And I had to develop that for myself. But then once I stepped out of there, it was a whole nother whoa. It was like I thought I was taking a step back because I was always able to work and stuff. And once you do get a stigma on you and they label you, they try to keep that. And then like I started seeking help. And then that's how I got in touch with BHoward through the personal interest changing, character changing program. And he helped me from day one. I told him what I wanted. I came out with my plan, and he helped me from day one. Like, he called, what you want to do? I want to go to school. I want to do hair. That's all I can do. I can't do nothing else. I know I can do hair. And he helped me. And I started school the next Monday. And ever since then, I took off. And like all my friends, I had friends go back. I had friends I stepped up and helped. I had friends I lost. And I was like, it's not no life for me. I don't want to go back.
But you know that your life had changed. And so, Mr. Howard, yes, evidently you're responsible in a real sense in terms of laying the foundation for people to understand themselves better. Talk about that from that perspective. How do you fit into being able to tell other folks what to do?
Well, I mean, you know, it's just through my own life experiences. I'm like, you know, most people, you know, I was raised in a two-parent home, which is kind of unusual now because you most get like single mother-led homes. But I was raised in a two-parent home. Father was always active in my life. Mother was an educator. So I knew the right things to do. I just simply lost my way. But when I lost my way, the first time, you know, I just went back to the same things I already knew. But the second time, I knew I had to do something different. I had children. I had a grandchild. And, you know, just through that, I needed to like do something different. So I focused on trying to, you know, change myself, work on my attitude, my mindset, work on my abilities so I can be working and employed. And, you know, just through that life experience, I found that like, and some things that are common to everybody, you know. And one of those things that's common to everybody is you have to have a relationship with God. That's first and foremost in everything for you to do anything. Secondly, you got to have a change of mindset because whatever you're doing, until you change what you used to do to try to do something different, you know, it'll never happen for you. And then secondly, you know, you need to learn how to listen to people. You know, listening is one of the greatest qualities in communication that people just don't understand. You know, they spend a lot of time trying to tell people what to do. They want to dictate to people. But if you take the time to listen to someone, you could probably learn how to help them best for them.
I would imagine that during the last minute or so that we have in this segment, I would imagine that all three of you would be willing to tell young people that they have to change their lives, and all they have to do is to look at what you've done and how you've been able to overcome. And you would also say that religion played a significant role, because I think that that is one of the things that comes out in all of the stories about what God has done.
Yes, sir.
And so you would also be willing to go out and to tell folks that this is what God did for me. And if you become God-centered, you see, you don't have to become a preacher or whatever,
no,
but all you have to do is to become God-centered. Then wonderful things can happen in your life, just as you are demonstrating here to our audience today, that you've had some changes in your life. And again, as we said, as we end this segment for today, that the things that you used to do,
you don't do no more.
You don't do no more.
No, sir.
And I think that if you can have young people to say that, then we can end a lot of killings, a lot of robberies, and a lot of things simply by that idea. And so what we're going to do, we're going to take our second commercial break, and we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. And what you want to do is to tell that that's what you're trying to do, Howard. Right. You're trying to get young people involved to tell that story. And I think what all three of you demonstrated is that you are using religion, God, what God has done. And I know if Pastor Walker sent you, I know his story too.
Right, right.
And if he sent you, he can tell you that what God can do, and he's a proponent of what God can do in our lives. Right. And individuals have to make up their own mind. Once they make up their own mind, Howard, they don't have any problems. I know, hey, I had some real experiences. Nobody would ever think that Dr. Haney did that. Yes, I did. You see, but you know, I grew out of it. I moved away from it. And a large number of us don't have an opportunity. A large number of us, if you're 14, 15 years old, somebody will kill you before you get to be 17 when you might learn something.
Or you might be able to move.
You understand? That's right. You see,
I can share some of that experience.
And so we've got 8 minutes in the second segment and give you an opportunity. We'll start with you, Mr. West. Give you an opportunity to talk about anything that you want to do. This is your free time to give some information to our young. Let's talk to our young people this morning. You talk about youth violence and killing and what. Let's zero in on your message to the youth this morning, your message to the youth, and your message to the youth. Okay, let's do it that way. And that'll give us an opportunity to end for today. Okay? Thank you, and welcome back to the final segment of the show for today. We're talking to Mr. West, Ms. Kaysen, and Mr. Howard, and they're giving us some information relative to how they were able to overcome many of the obstacles that they faced in their early part of their lives. And so, Mr. West, let's have you this morning, recognizing that we've got a real problem with many of our young people killing and shooting and et cetera. Let's have you during this last segment to speak to the young people this morning. The same thing for you, Ms. Kaysen, and the same thing for you, Mr. Howard. Let's all speak to our young people this morning, black or white, male or female, or wherever they might be. Speak to them this morning and tell them why they should do what you've done.
Like I said, you know, you got to surrender. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times with our young people, you know, they're just so, everybody's trying to, you know, do something, you know, or they want their voice to be heard. And like I was sharing with Brother Darryl the other night, you know, who was on the phone, and you know, with that, you know, they're gonna let their voice be heard, whether it's, you know, through gunfire, you know what I mean, whether it's through, you know, smoking, you know what I mean, you know, drugs, dope, whatever, you know. But you know, I want to let them know, man, that like you have a voice, you know what I mean, and your voice is powerful, you know, as a young person. And so, you know, just begin to realize, you know, for like we were saying, you know, you got to want it first, though. You know, like I run into a lot of young people who just don't want it. They just done gave up on life at a young age. I'm like, why you giving up so young? Like, you still got your whole life ahead of you. It's too young. You too young to give up. And so one thing that we do here at Personal Interest, man, we don't give up on them. You know, and I just want to encourage them, man, that like, you know, like we haven't given up on our young people. Like, yeah, it looks bad, it looks rough, but you know, there's hope. There's hope. And if we can just reach one of them, and then make that and allow them to know that like you can change, you know what I mean? If you just want it, you gotta want it though. Like, people can help you all day long, but if you don't want it, you know what I mean? Then yeah, you're gonna die. I mean, it's just point blank period. And the truth is that some of them just don't want it, and that's gonna be the end result. You know, but our charge is to let them know that, hey, look, it's another way that you can do this thing, and to stick it out with them. You know what I mean? And not just talk about it, not just preach to them, but actually get out there in the field with them.
Ms. Kaysen, what would you say to young women this morning? Well, not only African women, but any young lady this morning that might be going the wrong way. Tell them what they need to do.
Well, I really just keep God first, as first and foremost. But even if you don't know God, get around somebody spiritual who can lead you to the right direction. But learn from my experience. Don't go through what I had to go through the hard way. Because once you do get a label, you're labeled that. And once they label you, it's no coming back from it, no matter what. They say you get expunged. Nah, it's a whole process you got to go through. And it's a lot of stuff you don't got to go through. Like, I just learn from me. Take my experience and run with it. Don't go through the life experience that you don't got to go through. Don't go through and have all these excuses because I'm in the hood, because it's hard, because everybody's doing it. Do something different. Make school your goal. Make whatever you want to be like far as your future your goal. Make something worth talking about.
And you would also say that no matter what their experiences might be now, that other folks can relate to those experiences, and other folks have had the same experiences, but they've been able to what? Overcome.
You can overcome.
See, that's the most important thing, that they have to wake up every morning.
Yes, and you have to know, because you're going to get some blows, but you got to keep on. You got to keep on. No matter how many times you get knocked down, keep on pushing.
That makes you strong, understanding that whatever obstacles you face, these obstacles are there to make you stronger. Is that what you would say, Mr. Howard? Talk about yourself.
Yes, I mean, I will agree with that, but I want to also say this here. Hey, a lot of times when you make your change, you still gonna have some like obstacles and some challenges, right? Yes. And for me, I deal with young men and young women all day, okay? But we know that when you change one young man, you also change their family dynamic. Yes. And when you change their family dynamic, then you can change the whole community. Now, myself, even while I'm out here trying to change young people and try to change the community daily, I have dealt with some personal losses and some challenges. Like I lost a son to gun violence 2.5 years ago. I lost a granddaughter 8 days ago. She's a 16-year-old young lady there around in Begley who was murdered in Casey. So I'm dealing with these life experiences every day. But what I do know is, as long as we out there, as long as we listening, you know what I mean, there's hope for young people. There's hope for the community. So we just want to just be there for them, you know, and whatever we need to help them to become their better selves and reach that greatness that, like, you know, God has called them to be. We want to be that for them.
Yes, right.
And so what we're saying here, Mr. West, is that no matter what the situation might be, that all you have to, excuse me, all you have to do is make up your mind that you're not going to allow anything to keep you from having a goal. And that's one of the things that you have to establish. Whatever you wish to be, you can be. Absolutely. You see, but what you have to do, and I think all of us would agree, you have to make up your own mind as to how much you wish to be there. Do you wish to be a lawyer? How much do you wish to be a lawyer? And knowing that all lawyers at one time had to wish to be a lawyer. Right. And the thing, and if you want to be somebody, a politician, whatever your life's calling might be, you can be that if you wish to be so. And so I guess, Mr. Howard, the main part of the organization itself is personal interest. You have to take a personal interest
in yourself.
And you got to
invest in yourself.
Vested interest in yourself, and that will change all of your life experiences, no matter what others around you might say. You have to continue that.
Because then you can start to see the possibilities of who you can be.
Things might not be well now.
Yes, sir.
But if you keep a vision and you have an idea that you can succeed, and you look around and you put yourself in a crowd of individuals that have the same mindset.
Yes, sir.
The three of you are telling us that no matter what that situation might be, that you can succeed. Talk about that, Ms. Casey.
Well, anything is possible. Like, and that's one thing that, because when you are in the system, they expect you to fail. They count on you failing. They got numbers on you, and you're a number to them. And so you have to have the mindset that, hey, anything is possible. Like, y'all saying this, but I'm gonna take this. Y'all might tell me no 1,000 times. Somebody gonna tell me yes. I'm not gonna give up just because I get knocked down 1,000 times. That 1,001 time gonna be that one time I get that yes. And it's nothing that's gonna stop that. And then I'm not gonna sabotage myself. And then I'm also not gonna put myself in situations where I know it's gonna take me back. Like some of my friends, I still love them, but I can't deal with them. Like, I have to, you know, hide by. See y'all, I'm praying for you. You know, I'm going this way, y'all doing it. I'm doing this, y'all doing it. Like, it is like, for real, when they say you gotta change everything, you have to change everything. Your people, your places, and you have to have a bigger mindset. Like, no matter what, I'm not gonna give up. No matter what, that hope is always there. And when you know that hope is there, it's no turning back. And it's always gonna be people. Daryl, you, Dr. Haney, Wiz, people that's gonna come and help you and support you and like give you that push. Like, I can make it, I can keep going. It's hard, but keep on.
Okay, Mr. Howard, close us out today for the last minute and a half we have here.
Okay, well, I would just encourage everyone, whatever you want to do in life, continue to work at it. Seek out people who can help you along your way. Education is always the key, and it's not always books. Sometimes it's job training. Sometimes it's job resource. Sometimes it's just life experiences and people who you have in your life can help you along your path so you can become who you want to be.
And become familiar with some of the books and whatnot. Go to the library and find how to make friends and influence people. And follow something like that. And understand the concepts that are part of that and apply those concepts to your life. And you will find that slowly you will find that you are not doing the things that you used to do. And you can stand up proudly and tell people, Ms. Kaysen, the things I used to do. That's an old song, but and I think that if you can say the things I used to do, if those things were negative, you don't do no more. If you and by believing in that concept, reading some information about it, anything that you can do in order to further that idea and get that thought in your mind, you will be successful. And let me thank the three of you for coming by and giving us some information, not only us, but giving young people some information in terms of what they have to do and how they can do. And it's not, it's cheap in terms of financially. You don't have to have a lot of money to do this. Yeah. But anyway, let me thank the three of you, and let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you, and